Good evening, everyone. Aloha here. I am happy to be back tonight here in Lord of the Rings Online. Tonight we're gonna carry on with the storyline here. We left off last time here with Sigilith, so that's where we're gonna pick on up and see what she's got. Hope everyone is having a good week so far, and let's get going.
No, I do not think this dead man is Saduch after all.
I think this man might have been Balakad, Mloa. I think this was the son of Balakor, and he was the last of the heirs of Castamere. This man is not dead. His breathing is shallow, but he lives. For now.
He lives still. He will not live for long without water.
He may already have gone too long without it. Here, give him some of this, but slowly, or you might harm more than heal. Sigilith hands you her water bladder. Some of the water passes parched lips, but more of it spill onto the sand.
That may help him if he is not already beyond saving.
How did he come to be so far from the road? What happened to him after he left the tomb of Nurgambur, where he lost his trail? Where we lost his trail. He would not have purposefully left his satchel in that tomb if he planned to spend days alone in the heat, Maloa. Solartis, would your people give their aid to a man this near to death?
The kintai do not willingly refuse their aid when they have the ability to give it.
I will return with haste to Shonuth and tell Therashil there is need for her healing arts.
I have a question for you.
As the son of Balakor and the last heir of Castamere, Balakad is undeniably an enemy of not only the kingdom of Gondor, but of our people as well. The hatred of the Airsworn for elves is well known. It is in our power to help him. If our paths had not crossed his, he likely would have died without our knowledge. And yet, here we stand. What is the right course? You give Sigilith your opinion, and she nods. It is a difficult question, but this is my answer. If the healing arts of the kintai are sufficient to coax him back to health, he may tell us what Azagat and Nakasi are planning, or where they have gone. Whatever he knows may be of crucial importance to us. It is perhaps a meaningless choice, Maloa, for Solartis has already gone to tell Therashil what we have found. To return now without him would be difficult to explain. Let us go to the oasis of Shonuth and learn if the healing arts of the kintai will resolve this philosophical difficulty for us or raise further such questions. So he wants to go back to Shonuth. I'm gonna map to Jirish, but before I do that, I want to map to Umbar for my to pick up my VIP stuff. VIP rewards.
Would you do something for me? Hello there.
Okay. Now I'm gonna pop on over to Iridir because I want to turn in some task items. Okay, that is done for the day. Let's me just real quick. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Sell off the trash. These are all the essences that and traceries I've gathered from running. So let me just pop them into the vaults in the right spots. So that's an essence, essence, essence. This is tracery. All right, nice. Now I'm gonna map to Girish, and we're gonna carry on and ride down to go speak to the kintai. We'll just do this shortcut again and not follow the road. To say, I find it kind of annoying that they didn't even put a milestone or a stable here at the Shintai. I understand that it's supposed to be like a hidden secret location, but still. Arshil notices you approach, but her expression is guarded.
Philetas has told me of your dead man, and a place has been made for him.
The healers who dwell here at Shonath will see what can be done for his injuries, but he spent too long exposed to the harsh environment of the desert to recover quickly or completely. A single day and night without cover would be too many, and he suffered several. It is not customary for the kintai to welcome men such as he to our groves. He is here at your request and Sigileth's. The two of you must be responsible for him. You will find him behind the pavilions to the north of the water here in Shonath. Balakad eyes you wearily.
Yes. Oh,
Balakat's voice is dry and raspy. He stares wildly around himself, and you are put in mind of an animal caught in a trap. He sees the elves gathered nearby, and his cracked lip curls up in a sneer. You are going to kill me? You tell him that the elves of the oasis have agreed to try and heal his various hurts, and may have already saved his life. You ask him how he came to be by himself in the desert, and say too that you know the water bearer Saduk helped him escape from the kindred of the coins. Despite the sun damage and his scorched skin, the expression of confusion on his face is readily apparent. How do you know all this? He asks.
there is no freedom for me. I have only traded one set of captors for another, and then another.
The ordakhai want me dead. The kindred freed me from them, but only so they might have the privilege of seeing me slain. And these elves? Balakad weakly raises an arm to gesture at the kintai nearby. His mouth drops open with an expression of disgust and alarm. What is wrong with this one? Silurta stands beside the wounded man, her expression slack and her eyes empty and unseeing. Balakot stares up at her with an expression of disgust visible and a sun-damaged face.
She lives, but she is unaware of her surroundings. She works some vile elf magic against us.
Remember that you live only at the behest of the kintai, Balakad.
You would be wise to keep a politic tongue in your head, or you may find yourself once again left to die in the desert. That is what happened to you, is it not? You left Nurkambar in the company of Azagat and Nakasi, but your new friends thought to abandon you within the inhospitable waste. They exhausted whatever use they had of you and left you to die.
They are no friends of mine.
He hisses, and you are surprised to see the quivering of his eyes. If he was not so parched, he might weep. If I tell you what they said, will you let me go? You will not work your terrible elf enchantments upon me?
I would tell you what they said. I would tell you everything. Azagath slew my captors in Jerush, but I felt no gratitude to him. I fled from him, seeking somewhere to hide.
Memories of my frightening escape from Jerush flashed before my eyes. The ordakhai barring Azagath's approach to my cell, the intruder raising his arms, the soldiers falling to the floor as his dark sorcery stole the very life from their bodies. I knew he would follow me, but I sought to get as far from his dreadful presence as I could. Even as I cowered in the tomb, I knew no chamber would be deep enough to hide from him. You might have saved us some effort, son of Balakor. Was the hospitality of my city insufficient? Your city? Umbar Barabel belonged to my father and to my mother. When they sold it to the whole of Ordak, they gave up all claim to it. The kindred of the coins has given it back to the Umbari people. And when the song is ready? Let us not speak of that in front of an enemy, Nakasi. How can it matter? He will not leave this chamber. Even through the haze of my fear, one thing was clear to me. Azagath and Nakasi might have possessed a shared purpose, but their tolerance for each other began already to wear thin. Whatever they hoped to accomplish, every day that passed wore upon their alliance. In my desperation, I hoped to take advantage of their eroding trust for each other, but I could think of no effective means of accomplishing this. I must be more useful to you alive. That depends upon what you can tell us, Balakad. I can tell you the location of an army of Airsworn. They prepare to retake the city. Only I can order them to relent. He thinks we are stupid. Tell him the manner of his death, Nakasi, if he fails to tell us something of use. Nakasi removed from her garment a small glass vial containing an oily substance that glittered even in the dim light of the chamber. I knew it for its terrible reputation, Nargak, the hungry fire, longest burning and deadliest of the alchemic weapons ever used in war throughout Chagana and in Umbar. My father searched for stores of Nargak that might have evaded destruction over the centuries, but he never found any. The last sages who knew the secret of its making were put to the sword 100 years ago. Even so small a quantity of Nargak as Nakasi possessed has not been seen in Umbar for many years. I believed the hungry fire had left the world. A member of my crew was born some leagues to the east of here. He spoke of a Koda of Hamat, Talkuli, who resisted the Church of the All-Seeing. While his son watched, the priest made him drink a small potion of Nargak. They say he burned for days. Now, this vial of the hungry fire is quite small. For how long do you think you will burn? No, no. I will tell you what you want to know. Who helped you escape from my city? A water bearer named Saduk. Not Saduk. I want to know who suggested that he free you. I don't know. You still think it was one of us? The heirs of Castamere are finished. One of ours seeks to advance his position. Or her position. Even through the haze of my fear, the realization dawned upon me. Not only do Azagath and Nakasi not trust each other, every member of their ruling kindred fears and distrusts the others. I did not believe I would live long enough to take advantage of this knowledge, but it brought to me a calm I never thought to feel again. The kindred of the coins that displaced the heirs of Castamere will not much longer survive to rule Umbar. The seeds of their undoing are already planted, and they have done it themselves. The knowledge brought me peace, even as my new captors discussed the manners of my death. The time has come for you to die, Balakad. Nakasi, stop. The Nargak is too precious to waste on such as he. We will not want for Nargak if your map proves true. But if it does not, you promised me the song would devastate Gondor, Azagath. And it will, Nakasi. But we need not waste the hungry fire on a defeated enemy. Will you again use the pain that Koltek delivered from Karn Dûn? Natathal, the biter? I think not. The use of it leaves me unwell. I have not yet recovered from its use in Jerush. Let the desert take him.
They let me out into the desert with a ragged cloth tied over my eyes.
We walked for most of the night. At last Nakasi hit me upon the head with the hilt of her weapon, and senselessly I collapsed into the sand. When I awoke, there was no sign of them. The wind had covered their tracks. I sought to make my way northward under the burning sun, but thirst and delirium slowed my progress. I fell down the rocky slopes and considered giving up, letting the sand cover me. But as death approached, I resolved not to let it end that way. Always I stood again, and continued my desperate march from the desert. Did I survive the desert only to fall victim to the unnatural sorceries of elves? No. No.
The kintai will do nothing against your will, Balakad.
Unless you want not the healing of your body and your mind. But I am most concerned with your description of the glass vial Nakasi kept upon her person. From this account it appears they possess a small quantity of Nargak, and seek to obtain more by making use of the map Azagath took from the Makda Korbo. My knowledge of this substance is limited, but it sounds very dangerous. At some point during Balakat's tale, Silurtis regained her awareness. She turns now to you with her eyes alight. I am intrigued by this man's story, and wish to know more about the villains who tortured him so. If I might help you prevent them from reaching their goal, I would do so. Such an adventure will surely forestall my fading, but that is not my only reason for suggesting it. I have heard of this Nargak, this hungry fire, and my people will be endangered for as long as such a thing exists in the world. What more can this Balaka tell us of the hungry fire? Balaka grimaces with pain and refuses to speak any further.
He knows more than what he wishes to say to us.
If we can better ease his pain, he may be willing to speak further of the hungry fire.
We must show this man we will harm him not, unless he inflicts some injury upon the Kinta people or our grove.
His hurts are severe, but if our healers are permitted to tend them, he may recover. Collect a jar from the front of this pavilion to fill with water from the deepest area of the pool. Speak also with Idrade nearby, for she is lately arrived from Bertulun and brings with her great knowledge of the healing arts. She may have some advice of use to us. There's the jar. Let's pick that up. And let's go talk to Idrade.
I observed the two of you as you brought that dying man to Shonith. He trusts not my people.
Perhaps we share that feeling. I dwelled in the emerald wood of Nizagrim before the blight killed the trees, and it was men that unleashed it. No, it was not his doing. I know the lives of men are short, and he could not have been born when Nizagrim withered, but I know also his kind. I am a healer. I will give you a cloth to dampen in the pool, so his pains may be eased. Perhaps in gratitude he will leave the kintai be and never return. Be sure to collect water from the deepest part of the pond. Water from the shallower reaches will not be as effective. You dampen the cloth and fill your jar with water from the deepest part of the oasis.
Ah, you bring the items we sought from Idrade? Very good.
You help Balakad hold the jar you filled with clean water from the oasis, and he manages to drink. After a few moments, he looks up at you with a guarded expression. We are not friends. You elves are alien to me. I do not trust you, and I do not trust these others. As soon as I am well enough to walk, I will leave this place and never return. But you elves, you are right about something. If the kindred finds the hidden cache of Nargok they seek, Balakad falls silent, mopping his forehead with the damp cloth you brought from Idrade. In Gondor they named it Umbari Fire, for they knew not of its long use in these lands, and only learned of it when it was used against them. But my father knew. He dreamed of harnessing it against his enemies, But even with all the men at his command, he could find no stores of it. He believed it gone from the world. It should be gone. Azagath and Nakasi must not find the hidden stockpile they seek. They will set the world aflame.
I would not agree with the heirs of Castamere about very many things. We have found the single exception.
We must catch up to our traveling companions and tell them we have learned what our quarry seeks. If Solartis is to join us, as she has suggested to me, we will need to seek permission from Tharashil. Dr. Tharashil in southwestern Shonuth.
How can I bear this pain?
You inform Tharashil of Balakad's condition and his vow to depart from Shonuth as soon as he is able to walk. You also ask for her permission to allow Solartis to accompany you and Sigalith on your journey eastward. I am the warden of this grove, but I have not the power to keep Solartis from doing as she wishes. Had I that power, she might have already entered Trothul and begun to safely fade within Veroth of her own. But I do not, and she insists upon fighting the process. If she truly wishes to go with you, I hope you will keep her safe. She fights the fading, but I understand the fight is painful, and even so, strong-willed as Solartis cannot achieve victory in every battle. It is the lot of her people to fade, though she wishes it otherwise.
The lands to the east are named Imhula by the Shagani people, and for the kintai, they are full of memories.
Some of those are painful, for we remember when the northern reaches of the Emerald Wood grew there, before it withered and died as a result of the blight brought by the ordakhai. But others of those memories are joyful. The spirits of my own parents remain at the grove of Vartulun in Imhular. They faded long ago, but whenever I walk beside their trees, I feel their presence. The Kenta warden of Vartulun is Thorvillon. For decades, he has sought to find some means of reversing the blight. I suggest that you speak with him as you walk in Imhular. Perhaps speaking with him will help Solartis accept that she must fade. I do not really believe it will, but it is in my nature to remain hopeful. Cross the river. Okay. So that's going to lead us to the next zone. I've got one more quest to finish up here. So we're going to map to Gibberish. And then take a stable to Galbaru to go talk to Amalibi.
Today is a good day.
What say you, traveler?
She sends me water? I need warriors, not water. You explain Tharashil's reasoning. A look of acceptance and understanding creeps onto Amalebi's face as you speak. Leadership is filled with fraught decisions. If there is a purpose for this water, we shall learn it. For now, we wait for the seed we planted to take root. Thank you for trying, Miloa. Okay. That completes that. Now, we can go off to the new zone. Let's go do the Dead Forest, since it's closer. Oh, that just is up there. Hoping there's a way to catch up to the road over here. Yep. Okay, there's a bridge to cross. You have discovered the span of Daniger. Let's stop here and take a peek at the world. Pretty big bridge. Alright, we are now, I believe, into the Imhular map. So we're going to start with that quest in this area now. After this, it seems we've got one more zone. Maybe? Yeah. One more zone. None of these are active yet. Probably future expansions. So we've got this map, and then to Urashtar, and we will have completed all of it.
This must be Imhular.
Our traveling companions planned to make for the city of Kur Anzar, but I understand Tharashil wished for us to first visit the grove of Vartalin. I am not opposed to this plan, but I suggest that we do not linger over long at that grove. I'm concerned for the safety of my brother in the company of the kindred. I cannot say for certain that Koltek or Rothok were responsible for the disappearance of Saduk, but neither can I deny it completely. What can Silurtas tell us of Imhular?
The emerald wood of Nisigim have been blighted by the ordakhai, and it is no longer a place of green beauty.
Now it is Adagim, the corpse hold, and Thorvalin, and others of my people seek to slow the spread of the disease that claims it. When last I walked in Vartalin, the grove remained healthy, but the circle of hale trees had already diminished from its original size. Northeast of Vartalin, the city of Kur Anzar was the birthplace of the Shanghai kingdom of Hamat early in the Third Age. For nearly 3,000 years, the Hamati fought against Gondor and other rival kingdoms until it was eventually absorbed into the empire of Ordak. I do not know the state of it today. On our way to Vartalin, we should hunt some of the diseased animals that walk among the dead trees. Thorvaldin often desires to study the blighted creatures for some clue to curing the pestilence in Adagim. Okay. Disease spores. Oh, deer hides as well. I believe maybe this hind? Is that a deer? Yeah, that's a deer, okay. Is it riddled? Great. That sucks. It's riddled. Oh, yay, here's 4 of them. We should be able to get all of them. Right, finish the deer. Let's go to the next zone. I wonder if there's a way through here, or if we need to go around again. Nah, probably should go around. There was a spot up. Boar hooves and serval fangs. Seems to be a den of boars. Seems to be a nice place for getting scholar artifacts. Let's go exploring and see if we can get to the town from this location. There's the town in the distance. While I am here, I'm gonna swing through town and just grab the stable. Oh, look at all the orange trees. Some quest rings over here that we'll come back to.
Hastal Gur, stranger.
Collect several serval fangs. Find Thorvalin, leader of kintai. Gonna carry on with this quest. Ooh, rubber banding. You have discovered Vartalin. You have found Thorvulin, leader of the kintai at Vartalin.
You have come to aid the kintai of Vartulin with our work.
I welcome it, though I fear the blight that has transformed these woods resists our efforts and has so far proven impossible to reverse. The best for which we can hope is to slow its spread. You and Solartis have my thanks. Solartis stares blankly forward, her awareness once again untethered.
I see that Selirtas still fights our people's fate.
I'm
I am
sad.
saddened to see it, but not surprised.
She and I have spoken about it before, and her decision then was clear. I see it has not changed. How can it be so easy to accept in others, and yet so difficult to accept when it affects those dear to us? Alas, I see this difficulty most clearly within my own family, and the contradictions is visible to me. But it is not my decision to make for Solartis, and my words on the subject will sway her neither for nor against. Thorvulin accepts the satchel containing diseased hooves, fangs, and hides from the pestilential creatures of the dead forest, and sadly looks them over. If there is aught to learn from these, we will learn it. I dare not hope the blight can be reversed, but perhaps we can fight it, as Solartis fights the fading.
The protective arts with which we ward our groves have become less effective over time.
But it is the hope of the kintai that they will forestall the encroaching darkness long enough for us to discover a lasting solution. We have inscribed runes of guarding and renewal upon boundary stones that must be placed along the perimeter of Vartalin. Will you retrieve some of the boundary stones from the pile across the bridge and set them along the borders of the grove? I will remain with Solartis until she returns to herself. Finally found my first bounty board. over here. I'll come back to that later. I am embarrassed, Meloa. At least Thorvaldon is a friend and understands the difficulties I have faced in these past few years. They have become more frequent as Thorthol seeks to claim me, but I will not allow it. I'm eager to meet the others of your company, for speaking with new folk and having new experiences will help me stave off Thorthol. It has ever been so, and this adventure seems to me no different.
Yes, we have lent some aid to Thorvildon. Now we should continue on to the northeast to rejoin the company.
My brother Corridon will be very pleased to meet Silurtas and to learn of her people, as was I. I've said our farewells to Thorvaldon, nor now we should travel to the north, from where we can assess the situation in Kur Anzar. Solarta said the kingdom of Hamad was absorbed by Ordak, and the city may not be friendly to us or to the representatives of Umbar we seek to rejoin. Alright, I am going to take a quick bio break. I will be right back. And I'm back. We are going to finish. Well, we're gonna start the quest here in Vartalin and see how far we can get tonight.
How can I help?
The Death Mod. There is much we must do to maintain what we have here in Vartalin. I presume you've noticed the red-leaved trees around us. They are Sarlashi trees, with which we make Verothi. Our Verothi are living links to the kintai who have undergone trothel, the wearying. We give them the reverence and respect men have for their entombed dead in sarcophagi. Our Verothi require fresh Sarlashi trees with which to grow. The Vartalin's trees no longer produce shoots, as they are near the end of their life cycle, as are we who tend them. There is an area west of here with younger Sarlashi trees. This is the Grove of Rotharin. I must warn you, however, there are vengeful Kurdathi spirits, kintai who become wrathful or vengeful at the despoiling of the forests, who roam Rotharin. It is no longer safe for the kintai to venture there. You, however, have the bearing of one who can handle yourself in a fight. It is our ancestral duty to plant more Sarlashi trees here in Vartalin, that we have enough for all the kintai elves who undergo trothel. Go to Rotharin and gather us fresh Sarlashi shoots, that they may be replanted here in Vartalin, and grow into full Sarlashi trees. I'm trusting you with something quite sacred to us, Miloa. I know you will not let me down.
Though you are an outsider, you have the look of someone capable. I am quite desperate, enough so that I would turn to a stranger for our salvation.
This grove you see is dying. My people are dying. My wife is struggling. She is wearying, fading before my very eyes. I cannot bear it. These eyes have seen such sights, countless miracles over thousands of years. Never did I think I would see such nightmares as these. The land cursed, the ground parched, forests as dry as white as bone. All my friends, all those I love, destined to fade and be forgotten. I will not fade so easily. I will not let this grove crumble to dust. That is not my path. I have a desperate idea, and you seem capable. Will you help me? Will you help our people?
There is a man who treats with us, Usaka. His ways are strange, but I believe he may have a powerful friend, Kuridwan, the Golden Maiden.
She is someone who can help us heal Vartalin, this grove you see around you. Ever since the southern men made their way through our forests, the trees have started dying, turning hard and white as bone. We call it Lagdavrit, the pale blight. I believe it is tied to the southern men, but I cannot be sure. Much of what they do is profane to nature, as they burn and cut the trees and brush they meet, rather than exist within it. I believe Usakar knows more about the Lagdarid, as well as the knowledge of how to contact Kuridwan. She has the power to cure the Lagdarid if she wishes it. I know it in my bones. Before you go after Ushakar, would you check on Milingor, my wife? She is behind me, half into Veroth, growing over the bridge. It pains me to see her so. I wish to help her, to stop her wearying, as she feels it is not her time yet. But yet the Veroth still readily accepts her. I do not wish for her to go yet. Selfishly, I want more time with my beloved. Also, is there any dead branches on her Veroth? Please prune them. It is better for her. I cannot do it myself right now. I cannot bear it. Perhaps Grove Tender Ulthrol as a poultice to comfort Milungor. You should stop there first. She is on the path above me. Path above you? Okay. Mm. Sorry about the delay.
How can I help?
A small hope. There is much to be done if your hands are willing. The lag de rid, the pale blight, has swept through our great forests. What once was Lathor, the great emerald wood, has been sapped dry, trees turned as bone and plants turned to ash. We now call these woods Fafrathor, the forest of bone. But life still struggles to find its way, even within this dying land. As the Archer Grove tender, I am responsible for tending and caring for the woods around you. As you can see, I am doing a quite poor job of it. These hands, though still skilled, are lined with more than experience and slower than they used to be. But more importantly, the lack of rid has made all of us grove tenders quite powerless. It has ossified the great trees of the ancient forest. We few who remain do what we can to combat it. I have been known to scavenge seed untouched as of yet by the pale blight. I planted here in Vartulun that we might transplant these trees and bushes into greater Favrathor when the time is right. I have had good luck with finding unblemished acorns and berry seeds to the north in the box, both Sakdag and Turkatur. However, the beasts of the area have also suffered from the pale blight, many becoming sickened and frenzied. I dare not scavenge there any more for fear I shall not return, but I am no warrior. You seem much more capable. If you are willing, would you go there and gather more seeds? It is imperative to the forest that we gather and nurture new, unblemished life here in Bartolin.
Lead Athamat.
We have much to do in Bartolin. Chief among them for myself is nurturing the Varothi here, which contain our cherished ancestors. The streams running through Vartolin feed most of the Varothi. However, there are several stands of Varothi away from the river that require frequent watering. Unfortunately, Sarnor, our water bearer, has fallen ill. Would you be able to aid us? The task is simple enough. Collect Sarnor's buckets from him, then go to the river and gather water. Lastly, water the stand of Varothi at the bend at the top of the path above us, and at the edge of Vartulun to my right.
May nature's blessings find you.
The southern men make war on my people, outsider. I know not why, only that it is how it has always been. If not men, then orcs. If not orcs, then men. We wish to exist, and they seem to wish we didn't. Others of my kin worry about trothel, the wearying that comes with age to my people. I've never worried about it. I have a duty to my warriors and to my people to protect them. I will not fade until the threats to my people are removed. So perhaps I will live forever. That was a joke, my friend. Don't look so serious. The southern men who call themselves men of Ordak have made camp east of Bartolin. They are quite dug in, with strong fortifications, based on what Surudoth has told me. If you wish to help us, send them a strong message. Defeat a contingent of them at Gatlor. That will buy us time to make fortifications here, designed to repel any attack they make on us. Please go to Gatlor and teach the southern men a valuable lesson, that they reap the discord they have sown.
Lead Atmat.
We kintai have a saying, outsider. When the tree resists the wind, it is the wood that cracks, never the wind. We all must be in balance with nature, never resisting its flow. These southern men, these men of Ordak, they are always out of balance, destroying the natural way of things. They have built great fortifications at Gatlor, further destroying our forests, and sometimes even using the husks of our sacred Varathi to protect themselves. Break their fortification, destroy the blasphemy against nature and the kintai. It will weaken them and may make them think twice before they again twist nature to their corrupted will. We kintai know that when the tree resists the wind, it is the wood that cracks. It is past time these men of Ordak learned the same.
May nature's blessings find you.
Friends, I'm going to call it here for tonight as I'm not feeling too hot. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and